Democrats in the media are now unloading all their nasty attacks on rising Trump White House star and new press secretary, Karoline Leavitt.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10.
Talk about drama. The daytime television world just got rocked by one of its most shocking controversies yet, and this one's a real scorcher. Joy Behar, the veteran co-host of The View, has officially exited the show after a whirlwind of backlash, lawsuits, and social media chaos. But what could possibly force out one of the most outspoken and long-standing faces of daytime television? Well, buckle up, because this story is packed with controversy, irony, and plenty of finger-pointing. Let's dive into the jaw-dropping details of what went down and why Joy Behar's exit has set the gossip world ablaze.
Speaking of Donald Trump, I was stunned and amazed by his new White House spokeswoman today. She's actually the youngest ever in that job.
So here's where it all started. During a recent episode of The View, which is no stranger to heated debates and fiery exchanges, Joy Behar made a comment that left jaws on the floor. While discussing Karoline Leavitt, the newly appointed White House press secretary under Donald Trump's administration, Behar suggested that Leavitt only landed her position because of her looks. Yep, you heard that right.
Karoline Leavitt, she's just 27 years old. But boy, was she giving it to the Trump haters in her first White House briefing.
Ouch, that's not just a low blow. It's a full-on dive into the deep end of controversy. Now, keep in mind that Leavitt, at 27, is the youngest person ever to hold the role of White House press secretary. Despite her age, she has a stacked resume that includes being a former communications director for high-profile Republican campaigns and even working in Trump's first administration. But instead of focusing on her credentials, Behar reduced her to nothing more than her appearance. Now, this comment didn't just ruffle a few feathers. It unleashed a firestorm. The backlash was instant. Audience members audibly gasped, and even some of Behar's fellow co-hosts looked visibly uncomfortable. Alyssa Farah Griffin, herself a former Trump administration staffer, was quick to clap back, pointing out it wasn't her first job, it was just her first press briefing. And if you thought the live reaction was tense, just wait until you hear what happened online. Social media exploded with criticism from all sides of the political spectrum. Fans and critics alike were calling out the hypocrisy of the statement, especially given Behar's long history of championing feminism and women's empowerment. One user wrote, if a Republican said anything remotely like that, they would be crucified. Another chimed in, Joy Behar just proved once again that The View only supports women who think like them.
Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you.
And it didn't stop there. Karoline Leavitt herself decided she wasn't going to let this slide. Instead of issuing a simple statement, Leavitt went for the jugular and filed a lawsuit against Behar, accusing her of defamation and character assassination. According to the legal complaint, Behar's comments were not only false, but also malicious, designed to discredit Leavitt in the public eye. This lawsuit wasn't just a bombshell, it was a direct hit to both Behar and ABC, the network behind The View.
Without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table.
Behind the scenes, chaos was reportedly unfolding at ABC. Executives were scrambling to figure out how to handle the situation. Should they issue a public apology, suspend Behar, or the nuclear option, cut ties with her altogether? Staff members at The View were apparently divided, with some rushing to Behar's defense and others quietly acknowledging that the situation had spiraled out of control. It's worth noting that Behar has been at the center of controversies before, but this time the stakes were much higher. The lawsuit, coupled with the immense public backlash, put ABC in a very tight spot.
Isn't it rich that The View is saying she got the job based on looks when DEI is all about based on looks?
Adding fuel to the fire, reports began circulating that ABC executives had been holding behind-the-scenes emergency meetings for days leading up to Behar's departure. Sources from within the network claimed that executives were in panic mode, with some fearing that the lawsuit could snowball into an even larger reputational crisis for the network. While ABC has faced criticism in the past for The View's often polarizing content, this particular scandal was seen as uniquely damaging due to its legal implications. One insider described the atmosphere at the network as tense and chaotic, with executives walking on eggshells trying to balance internal loyalty to Behar and the growing external pressure to act.
No, it's not. So first of all, and I have had my objections to the job that Karine Jean-Pierre did, but she worked in politics for 21 years, 5 presidential campaigns, and worked in 2 administrations.
The tension wasn't just at the executive level. Staffers at The View were reportedly split into 2 camps. Some were fiercely loyal to Behar, arguing that her comment, while inappropriate, didn't warrant such severe backlash. Others believed her remark about Leavitt crossed a line and was indefensible, especially for someone who claims to support women's achievements. One anonymous staffer allegedly told an outlet, "This isn't the first time Joy has put us in hot water, but this time it feels like there's no way to recover." The divide among staff members reportedly created a toxic work environment, with whispers about whether other co-hosts might also face fallout from the scandal. Adding to the complexity of the situation was the question of ABC's liability in the lawsuit. Legal experts weighed in across news outlets, debating whether Behar's remarks could be classified as defamation. Some argued that Leavitt's lawsuit had a solid foundation, especially given the specific and personal nature of Behar's comments. Others, however, suggested that Leavitt might struggle to prove malice, a key component in defamation cases involving public figures. Regardless, the legal battle ahead promises to be messy, with ABC potentially caught in the crossfire. One expert noted, even if the network tries to distance itself from Behar, the fact that they allowed the comment to air could make them partially responsible in the eyes of a jury.
Karoline Leavitt is the press secretary at the White House, doing a great job. Such a great job that the ladies of The View feel the green monster coming upon them.
Meanwhile, Leavitt hasn't shied away from the public spotlight following the controversy. In an exclusive interview with a conservative media outlet, she doubled down on her criticism of Behar, calling the comment not only sexist, but deeply unprofessional. Leavitt also used the opportunity to highlight her qualifications, listing her resume and accomplishments as proof that her appointment as press secretary was earned, not handed to her because of her appearance. This has only further energized her supporters, with many praising her poise and her decision to stand up for herself in the face of what they deemed a baseless attack. And then came the announcement that no one saw coming. ABC officially confirmed that Joy Behar was leaving The View. The timing of the announcement, just days after Leavitt filed her lawsuit, led many to speculate that this wasn't a voluntary departure. While the network's statement was vague, saying that Behar had decided to step away and wishing her the best, insiders claim that ABC executives effectively pushed her out to protect the show's future. Let's face it, The View has weathered storms before, but this particular scandal might have been too much to handle. Public reaction to Behar's exit has been a mixed bag, to say the least. Some people are celebrating her departure, saying it's about time she faced consequences for her controversial remarks. One fan commented, "Maybe they need to cancel ABC Network. That would fix all of the problems." Another wrote, "I can't understand why that particular show is still on the air, or was ever aired to start with, for that matter." On the other hand, some longtime viewers of The View are mourning the loss of one of the show's most outspoken voices. They argue that Behar's departure is a result of political pressure and that ABC caved to outside influences. Conservative commentators, meanwhile, are treating this as a major victory, viewing it as a rare instance of accountability in what they perceive as a biased media environment.
They really don't like this woman. She's a good communicator. And so Joy Behar just offered her analysis on why Leavitt was picked for the role.
And let's not forget the irony of it all. Joy Behar has spent years positioning herself as a champion of women's rights and empowerment. She has often criticized others for making dismissive comments about women, yet in a single moment, she managed to undermine everything she claimed to stand for. This hypocrisy hasn't gone unnoticed, with many pointing out that her remark about Leavitt was the very thing she spent her career railing against. So what does this mean for The View? For starters, the show now finds itself at a crossroads. Joy Behar was one of its defining voices, and her absence leaves a significant void. ABC will have to carefully consider who, if anyone, will replace her. Will they opt for another outspoken liberal voice, or will they try to balance the panel with a more conservative perspective? Either way, it's clear that the show is facing an uphill battle to regain public trust and credibility.
Bang, Rowan, I couldn't do that at 27. No nonsense, straight to the point, courage, detail.
As for Joy Behar, her future remains uncertain. Will she fight back against the lawsuit and attempt to clear her name? Or will she quietly fade from the spotlight, leaving behind a legacy as one of the most polarizing figures in daytime television? And what about Karoline Leavitt? Her decision to sue Behar has certainly raised her profile, but it also puts her in the center of a media circus. Will this legal battle help her cause, or will it backfire?
But even factoring in that she's a nice-looking lady, I love that the Liv's attacks on conservatives right now are that we're hot and cool.
One thing's for sure, this drama is far from over. The fallout from Behar's exit and the ongoing lawsuit will likely dominate headlines for weeks, if not months, to come. And with public trust in mainstream media already at an all-time low, this controversy might just be the tipping point for The View. Will the show be able to recover? Or is this the beginning of the end for one of television's most iconic talk shows? What do you think? Did ABC make the right call by letting Joy Behar go? Or was she unfairly pushed out? And can The View survive without one of its most infamous hosts? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for all the latest updates on this explosive scandal. This story is just getting started, so stay tuned for more twists, turns, and jaw-dropping revelations. See you next time.